Welcome to Canuck of the Dead. This is the show where we celebrate everything Canadian and horror, and I mean everything. As you recall, we once had Steve McGinnis on here, one of the best horror artists I've seen. And now today we get to welcome our first horror podcast on. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Doing great.
You guys have put together the podcast called Ice Cream. So what I'm going to do is we'll start with Antonio, go Diana, and I'm just kind of introduce yourself and your role in the project.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Antonio Cordero. I directed Ice Cream and other projects with 911, and that's what I do primarily is direct. So that's what I did on this.
Nice. Diana.
Hi. So I play Elanor Jones in the series Ice Cream. I get to be married to Mr. Handsome, aka Adam. So I'll let you take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Murciano. I co-wrote, co-create, acted, edited Ice Cream, and co-creator of 911 podcasts.
It's good to know that independent podcasting is the same as independent film, where you wear a bajillion hats.
Yes.
Not because you want to, but because you have to.
Exactly. But also sometimes I love it. I do love doing it. It's a lot, and sometimes it's, but I do have great help like Antonio, thank God, because I literally wouldn't do it. I wouldn't know how to do half the things without him because you are so experienced and you have worked in the industry. So I'm always coming to him, asking him questions. And so, yeah, you have to have a team.
And trust me, there's passion here. Because if you didn't like what you were doing and you're getting paid what you get paid for independent film, you got a problem. Yeah. Just a glutton for punishment. So let's start with you, Antonio. What's it like to direct a podcast? That's the first question I have to ask, because you mentioned that you do film, so what's the biggest difference in directing?
Actually, it's the freedom of location, because with film, you're kind of tied down to location availability and actor availability. And if you're lucky and you have like a tight-knit cast, and a block of recording days in studio, you can kind of do it all linearly. So that's kind of like one of my favorite things about recording audio is that the actors and the story can evolve linearly as it does as you hear it. So like a lot of the times actors, at least like the last one we did, Cascadia, they didn't even read the last episode until we were recording it, just because they wanted to experience it with the actor, with the characters. So I do love that element the most.
That is a great idea. I never thought of that. The biggest thing, the best thing about everything, location. You have none of that because it's all designed basically.
Yeah, and you can work
we'll
on
fix
your own pace.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said we'd fix it in post.
That's the way to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, how did you get attached to this?
Ice Cream?
Yeah.
Well, Adam and I started 911 in the midst of the pandemic and did Cascadia season 1, and then that went really well. So we said, why not do Ice Cream again? And he had this great inspiration of the story, wrote it in 2 weeks, Adam? And then
something like that.
He's like, you want to direct it? And I said, sure. We did a great portion of it, I think like 80% of it here. And then we did a day in Toronto to finish off this season.
Excellent. You know what? Let's put that clip in. You have got us a clip from the actual podcast of one of the scenes, correct?
Yes.
All right. Let's check this out. This is Ice Cream.
Mom, ice cream truck. Can I get one?
Yeah, sure, honey. Just make sure you come right back, okay? No talking to strangers.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny, don't you need money? Johnny!
Mr. Handsome! Mr. Handsome! Hello? Hello? Mr. Handsome? Are you there?
Hi, Johnny. What can I get you today? Your usual?
Yep.
All right, coming right up. Here you go. 1 tiger blood ice cream for a special, special boy.
Yay!
That'll be $1, Johnny.
I don't have any money.
Oh, well, I just can't give it to you for free. That would be silly.
But you never ask me for money when I come alone.
Oh, Johnny. Look, kid. I'm gonna share something with you that's going to bring you great value to your life. Why don't you come a little closer? Nothing in life is ever free. Even when you think it is, it isn't. They always make you pay. One way or the other.
Well, can you wait here and I can go ask my mom?
No, that's okay, Johnny. The ice cream will melt. I have another idea of a way you could pay me.
What now?
I want you to sing to me my favorite song. Can you do that for me, Johnny?
What's that?
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Your turn.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Louder.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Louder.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Louder, you little shit!
I
Louder!
scream, you scream,
Ice cream!
Ice Cream premieres midnight, September 26th, wherever you get your podcasts.
That's wicked. So,
thank you.
Okay, just starting off.
A lot to unpack.
I question
That's a trailer.
I question a child that would accept ice cream when he walks in and you hear flies. Okay,
right?
Which is an amazing touch, by the way.
Thank you. It has something to do with the story.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But it's so subtle, that first fly buzz. It's like, wait, did I just hear that?
Yeah.
And then the second one, oh yeah, that never bodes well.
No,
right?
Never.
The audio can paint such a visual if you really pay attention.
Oh,
and it's not what you think it is. That fly will lead you down a dark road. Trust me.
See, now
that's all I'm gonna say.
Mr. Handsome, an interesting choice of names for an ice cream vendor. Where did that come from?
There's a reason. Well, he got dubbed that name because everybody in all the kids in the neighborhood just called him Mr. Handsome because he was so well kept. His skin was like porcelain. His hair was perfectly combed to the side. Had beautiful teeth, smile. So he's just this really perfect kind of person on the outside. And obviously, you'll see more to come.
Excellent. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah, I will say working on the studio and recording that clip was a lot of fun. And we worked with this amazing, talented 9-year-old. His name is Haven. And he just came in and Antonio, do you remember? He was so professional.
Yeah.
He knew the lines more than even I did. And and there's a line where I swear at him in the clip there. And I didn't feel comfortable doing it in front of him. I was like, this is really weird. So I asked him to leave the studio and I did that part without him. So yeah. Screaming at a kid felt weird.
That's the other cool thing on this too. You don't all have to be together to do this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah, like literally you can be in Toronto and recording in Vancouver and it works because it's all audio.
Yeah, like the mom at the beginning of the scene that you just heard, she wasn't even, we just recorded that like almost like me and Diana recorded. We did it like over Zoom. So, you can make everything sound like you're in the same room. It's really cool.
Speaking of Diana, we have a clip of Elanor. Let's get to that, and then we'll dig into your character a little, okay?
This one is a bit of a spoiler alert, though, right?
Yes, spoiler alert. So
spoiler alert.
It's kind of out of context, so you might not really know, but just maybe skip this part.
Tell you what, we're gonna hang on to this,
Okay.
And when we come back for the second part, we'll play it then.
I like that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Good call.
So how many parts are in this series? Because I'm noticing, like with Cascadia, like this is actually a movie in a podcast form.
Yeah, I'm just counting it out. It's at least like 10 people, like in total, not including like small lines. Major characters, I think 8, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's 6 episodes, and then like it's a full cast. So you have everything. Yeah.
Do any of you guys do double duty? Because I know you look at all the cartoons and you'll see Billy Bob Thornton was the dog and the cat and Garbage Man. And do you guys ever do that? Because you can with altering of voices.
We try not to. I think
we only did it once with Ice Cream when I can't remember her name now. Oh my gosh, the girl that plays the interviewer in the footage.
Emily. Yes.
Emily,
yes.
right? She did 2 voices.
And usually, if we'll use someone with two different characters, they'll have to do an accent just to really differentiate. At least like at the beginning of the season, and maybe if they pop in at the end of the season, just really differentiate. But hardly never in the same episode, and definitely, if anything, with an accent to really. Because it's hard with audio, right? If you sound too similar, then people can get confused and be like, wait, isn't that the same character? So
I guess that's true too, because you're solely relying on sound.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess it makes sense. When you're putting this together, how much planning goes into it as far as pre-production based on a film? Like, would you consider it more pre-production or less because you're, like you said, no locations, it's just audio?
Adam, do you want to take this question first?
Yeah. I would say, Diane and I, we've talked about this before. It's all about the script. Like once you have like a really solid script, then everything will kind of build upon that, because the script is really truly the foundation for this kind of media. I guess all mediums, but especially this medium, because yes, like everything is in the sound design and the post-production as well. So if you have a solid script and like we really hammer home like a good solid draft, then we can kind of go into the studio and be like, okay, we know the story, we know where it's supposed to go. Like, let's have fun with it. Let's let it go. And then we'll do like a scripted version or something like that, So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and at least from go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, from a directorial stance, like aside from a shot list, it's pretty much the same. I still think about the character arcs and how I want people to sound in episode 1 versus 6. Like definitely with Elgin, there was a lot of direction on his maturity as a character, and then like blocking and stuff like that. Any props that we bring in, like if people are eating or if we want them to do a certain thing, like those kind of things are thought out, but like it's not visual, so we can get away with a lot in the studio. So it's like a lot less planning and meticulous planning as in comparison to film, because like with that it's a lot of like location scout planning and a lot goes into it. But with recording, as long as we have the studio and the time and the people, we can really have our time to play.
Okay, then this brings me to you, Diana, because and I know we talked about this once before. What's it like preparing for a role where you're just going to stand in front of a microphone? Like how much more difficult is it to get into a role if you're just in front of a microphone?
Such a great question. So when you are doing voiceover, whatever kind of voiceover it is, your vocal instrument and your whole body, of course, are what you have to work with, right? There is a fun and a freedom in it that comes with not having the pressure of being on camera, being 100% off book and blocked, and those other parts of the job that you have to do on a film set or a TV set. So in some ways it's easier and more freeing that way. And you really are just using your imagination. And in some ways it's more challenging in that all you really have is the words and your imagination and your instrument on that day. And with this particular material, of course I studied and rehearsed as much as I could, but actually my first, and we recorded my episodes because I'm in 4 of the 6. We actually did them in like 2 sessions, 2 batches. And for the first session, I think it was less than 24 hours, right, Adam?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. She was very good. And we were going to do everything in one session. And we ended up breaking it up because I was like, this is really heavy. Let's take a break.
And it just was long. Like it's a lot of material that has a huge emotional arc. And like Antonio was saying, you want the journey of the character, not just the emotional arc, but like the years passing and the different circumstances. You somehow want that to come through in the voice, so playing with because again, no spoiler alert, but playing with the passage of time and different societal norms and like who I'm talking to. I did different things vocally, right? And then for the second session, I actually had like a full week in between to like sit with the material, let the material kind of sink into me, think about how I wanted to do it, and play with different things vocally. But I didn't want to over rehearse it. And it's so interesting how you were saying that with the Cascadia actors, that a lot of them wanted to discover it in the moment along with the character, right?
Yeah, it was a great choice.
To some degree, I wanted to do that as well, because the risk of it sounding rehearsed, sounding like this was what I was going to do vocally, I didn't want to take that risk. So having a singing background, knowing that my mind works that way, I knew I would be tempted to sort of, I didn't want to ever make it like I was showing off vocally. I wanted to just try and sink into the emotional reality of what Elanor was going through, which was so crazy in times, like just certain things that my character goes through, like you are beyond your worst nightmares. Like you could never imagine this craziness kind of like actually happening to you. So I was like, I have to somehow let myself go there, and hopefully, my voice and my body is going to do what it needs to do. So I wanted to be really in the moment. And also sometimes one of the things I loved about doing this with Adam was that we would just keep rolling. And so then sometimes I would like riff on something, and then I would like give him like a crying sort of keening version, and then I would give him like, okay, I don't know, like at one point
there was some points where we used lines that she was just talking to me. We weren't supposed to do, it wasn't a take, it was in between takes, and she was just saying things like, I feel like I would say something like da, 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 and it was just so perfect for what I was looking for, and it was totally ad-libbed, and I would use that in the take, in the actual thing. So I always say keep it rolling. And Antonio, this too, like Antonio tricks us all the time in the studio. He's like, record the rehearsals, because those are the times where it's very just natural and chill, I guess.
Loose. I'll even like if I feel like people are getting locked into a rhythm and like I'm trying to break and look for something else, I'll go in the studio and film them. And that element of just like someone filming them with the camera just throws it off just enough to like give me something different.
Oh, that's
and we're all actors on camera for the most part, so we're kind of used to the camera there. So that always helps when he comes in with it.
Yeah, I use it sparingly.
One of my pet peeves as an actor, when I'm like not even meaning to, but can't help but judge stuff that I'm watching, because we all do it. We can't help. We have this like filter going, right? Like part of us is always a film student or a cinephile, no matter what, right? So the love and also the like, what do I not like about it? And for me, like when people do get trapped into vocal patterns and stuff, I'm just like, that's lazy acting. Like, no, we're not. And because in our day-to-day lives, we actually do have these like little vocal patterns and this like kind of stuff that we do unconsciously, right?
Conversational rhythms and stuff.
Do that as an artist. You cannot do that. That's phoning it in. So you've got to like really open yourself up, and then that's part of the part of what makes it so amazing is like you end up going on this roller coaster, and you come out on the other side of it, and you're like,
I know. She messaged me the next day after our session, and she's like, I'm shook still from what I went through, because there's a lot of crying and a lot of screaming. And I was like, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, it was good. I had to go there emotionally. And the fact that she felt the kind of like repercussions of that the next day told me, I mean, I already knew she did such a good job, but the fact that she did that to me, I knew that it was something special. And so many people said that they loved you. So it worked.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
See, that's the beautiful part of our age is everything's digital now. So yeah, you literally can record everything. And if you don't like it, you just record over it, or delete it and start over. But there's the only restriction is the gigabyte. That's the only restriction for recording anymore.
Yes. But good thing audio takes very low space. So
I was just going to say that, not film. So yeah, you got tons more room.
A lot faster to export those.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
Yeah.
The render time is cut in half.
I remember the first time, one of our first projects, Antonio was like, how long is it gonna take you to render the episode? Is it gonna take a few hours? I'm like, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, does it take a few hours to export? I'm like, no, it takes 5 minutes. It's audio. And he's like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. So he's like, in film, no, because he's like, in film, it takes hours. Yeah.
You don't need a whole department for that.
Yeah.
It takes so long sometimes. It's big.
And it's funny because Antonio comes from film and I've never have done my own film. I've only done audio. So we were both just kind of like, what? But yeah.
I got to ask then, what's it like knowing that you're being listened to in over 50 countries around the world?
It's so weird.
It's got to be surreal.
I can see on our hosting page, by the hour, how many downloads we get and where it's listened to. And I'm just that's so crazy that someone right now is probably listening to all of us right now, So it's cool. It's really, really flattering that we get to entertain people in countries that I haven't even been or I've even thought of going, it's really cool.
Where
really
you don't even know
special.
the language there.
Exactly. And the fact that we had that reach and that somebody's being entertained right now is truly the reason why I think we all do what we do, even in film, audio, whatever. It's just so cool to know that there is an audience,
So would this be subtitled in foreign countries? I'm just wondering because there's no film.
Funny that you say that. Antonio, do you want to take it away?
Well, I think to answer that question, maybe people just speak English and we get fortunate that they do because English is such a global language. But we did a deal with Blind Audio and they released a French language speaking version of Cascadia just a few weeks ago. So that was a really great honor to have our whole series dubbed and re-recorded with new actors, new directors performed, basically leased out to this French company, and they did a fantastic job. It's
they did
side-by-side comparisons.
Really good job. They literally right down to the right breath and everything. I actually got emotional listening to it because this was a project that Antonio and I worked on. We spent hours and hours, sent millions and hours of voice notes to each other, discussing and writing. And you have no idea. We spent so much time. We had to re-record everything so much. And then the fact that somebody wanted to redo our work was such an honor and such a I got so emotional listening to it because I was like, wow, it's all this hard work, all these hours, it's come to this. And it's just I was very proud of the whole team because it was a whole team effort, actors involved, directors, everything. So
that is excellent. Well, really quick, we're gonna wrap up here, but I understand Diana has something coming out very soon. What is that?
Yeah, so
tell us.
Thank you. I have a feature that is coming to Lifetime in the new year. It's called Therapy Nightmares. I play Carly, who is the sister of our protagonist, played by Tommy Amber Peary, who is a rock star, total badass Canadian actress. And my character, I'm in over half the movie. I'm the supporting character. So it was an amazing experience. I got to have a stunt double.
Well, that's cool.
Shot in Ottawa in the winter.
Oh, and that's not cool.
Was cold. It was cold.
What's it about? What's your character?
My first day was our longest outdoor day, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Okay, this is a great way to go. I'm gonna die doing what I love. I'm literally gonna die. I never knew I was gonna
positive
die.
way to look at it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We were between takes. They would run and put the big parkas on us and booth and stuff. But we were shivering to the point that when you can't control your jaw and then
you've accepted it.
Okay, rolling, and then you have to stop shivering and just
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was awesome. My character almost dies.
Well, here is the summary from IMDb, just so we're all on the same page.
Oh.
It's a few lines, but it says Leah, a respected therapist, is enjoying unparalleled professional success, a hit book, TV appearances, a full client roster, but she still can't shake the trauma of her last relationship and the guilt that her ex went on to kill his next partner. As Leah works on her own demons by helping others with theirs, she takes on a mysterious new client, Anna, who seems more intent on exploring Leah's past than her own. As Anna manipulates Leah into her home, Leah discovers that Anna is the sister of the slain partner who blames Leah for not alerting the authorities sooner. Forced to confront her own guilt and the danger of a family member seeking revenge, will Leah make it out unscathed?
Whoa.
I can't believe they put that in there. I feel like that's too much information. But it's good, right? That's good. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like waiting. Yeah.
I think it would have been cool for the reveal in the film that you're the relative or that person.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, you know what? People love these kind of movies, so there'll be people watching. Yeah.
So I'm a good guy.
Good.
Okay, good.
In that movie. Whether I'm a good guy in Ice Cream, you'll have to listen and find out.
To be determined, because I would argue that your character is well, it depends on the perspective and how you listen to it, and I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say any words after this because it's more than one word.
Well, we're gonna find out in 1 second. Everybody, stick around for the bonus show because we're gonna play that little spoiler clip and find out if she's good or not. We'll be back.